Absolutely fantastic view here from this hamlet, Strmec village, I'm going to call it. We see here, looking down the valley, and the valley below. The valley I've just come up. Wonderful. And the mountains. Now there's warnings here about landslides. I presume, actually I would have said they meant avalanche, but it was written in 4 languages, and none of it in the other. It wasn't written avalanche in either Italian or in German. Wow, fantastic waterfall. Now the road to the right goes up, further up the mountain, up the Mangart. Now if I remember rightly, that's about 2,800 meters, something like that. You can see the views of the mountain. I see here yet another fortification built into the rock, and guarding the route up the mountain. Maybe it's Italian. I don't know. There's a monument. Written in German. This is Fort Hermann. If I can park, I will do. Not really a parking space. I guess the road's got a bit wider. Oh, there's a place. I'm going to stop. So this is Fort Hermann, controlling a very strong position here. An Austrian fort. Though it must have been at the very end of the Austrian period, I would have thought, just before the First World War. Judging by the where it's been built. The Soviets built 3-story fortifications on the on what is now south-eastern Poland, near Bełżec, Rubieszów. Of course, to take that out with artillery fire is not that easy, because the artillery has to be brought in. I mean, obviously today it wouldn't be terribly difficult, but when it was built 100 years ago, if that's the period it was built in, then it would be very, very strong. Here we have the description. Zur Erinnerung an der Heldentod des Kerker-Ingenieur-Hauptmanns Johann Hermann von Hermannsdorf am 18 Mai. There we have the date. So it's 60, 80, it can't be. 1809? Und der mit ihm gefallene Kampfgenossen Kaiser Ferdinand First. So this the 1809 during the Napoleonic Wars. That's amazing. There's a lion, sleeping lion. Well, coming down a bit further, we see it coming into the pass. So this is 200 years old. It just doesn't give that impression whatsoever. Well, a major piece of military engineering, because obviously the road wouldn't have been like it is today then. quite wonderful, really, is that they can do these things. Pity they couldn't have put it to better use than another one than building fortifications. So it controls both sides and commands wonderful views. Absolutely fantastic. So now I know a little bit more about the history of the fort, and it would seem that along this route it was an important trade route, even from as early as the Roman period, which so it linked to Carinthia in Austria to Friulia. And in 1808 the Austrians began to build a fort at Predel, and this was quite important because during the Napoleonic times, the fort was built by Johann Hermann von Hermannsdorf, so obviously who the fort has been named after, and he was fighting with the soldiers of the Sluy Border Regiment in May 1809, which held out until the end. Now, it was captured by the French, who burnt the fort down, captured some of the Austrians, but most of the Austrians were actually killed in action, and they are buried here under the road. And the monument itself was was put up in 1848, so it's meant to show a wounded lion on a bundle of rods, and that the lion was added 3 years later. And there's the lion on the bundle of rods. Fortunately, the fort doesn't appear to be open, but even if it was open, there'd be no way to get to it or park cars or anything. So now this is Predel, 1,156 meters above sea level. I think this is as high as I'm going to get in Slovenia anyway. And there's the border point with Italy, I think. And there's nobody there. At least it seems that way. There is somebody.